This is Michael Spedden, and welcome to Fowl Players Radio, your one-stop shop for all of your pop culture needs. We feature interviews from musicians, actors, comics, dancers, authors, and much, much more, up-and-coming artists and beloved favorites. We've got it all, people on stage, backstage, out front, and behind the scenes. Sit back and relax. Let's have some fun.
Hey, Mary Jo Peel here, and you are listening to Fowl Players Radio.
Hi, I'm Emmy Jo.
And I'm Doug, and we're from the New Zoo Review, and you're watching Fowl Players Radio.
Hey folks, Michael Spedden here, and welcome back to Fowl Players Radio, Season 13, Episode 3. Tonight we had Maggie Weber with us. Maggie is the Refashioned Hippie. You've seen her on social media talking about the crazy things that people buy and all kinds of other things in the fashion world. She's also very big in thrifting, thrift stores. She wrote this book here, Why I Hate Everything. And I've just read and listened to the book, and it's really good. It's a very funny book and in a lot of ways. And it's a really good story about her time from a teenager and through young adulthood working in retail. And it's a really good book, and I'm sure a lot of people could really identify with it that have had the same kind of job path. And all of her links, she has a link tree. All of the links are going to be in the show notes, so you'll be able to find them there. And so, without further ado, enjoy our episode with Maggie Weber. And welcome back to Fowl Players Radio, folks. Michael Spedden here, and we are in Season 13, our third episode here. And tonight, we have Maggie Weber with us. I'm sure you've seen her on TV, or not on TV, on Facebook, or anywhere you have social media, because she has more followers than I'd say probably about 5 or 10 third world countries. Following her and watching all of her bits. She's an author. I've read one of her books right here, Why I Hate Everything. And it was about her experiences in working in retail, not only food services, but thrift stores and a number of other things. And again, she's got, great commentary. She's, does a lot of great commentary, especially on fashion, things that people with more money than sense buy a lot of times. And I am glad to have her. Plus, we're both from the Baltimore area here. So it's also great to have a good local person. So, Maggie, welcome to Fowl Players Radio. It's glad to finally get you on.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
Well, glad. I'm glad. I'm glad. And thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it. So, so much to ask you, so many different things. We could talk a bit about your book first. And now, again, I realize that you have a more current book out right now. And we can also discuss that. But I wanted to ask you a bit about Why I Hate Everything. It was really just kind of a summary of your working career from, I guess, a teenager when you were in high school to early adulthood. So tell us about this book a bit.
Well, I started writing it when I was 15 and got my first job in an unnamed donut shop, so I don't get sued. And I started writing things down because my mom, I think, was sick of hearing it, but every day I would tell her some ridiculous story and she would just say, write it down, write it down, write it down.
Mm-hmm.
So over around 16 years, I just wrote everything down. And I say everything. If you've ever worked in retail, not everything is in that book. There is something that changes in you when you work in retail or the food service industry,
mm-hmm.
and you get to see what people are like when they think you don't matter.
Yep.
And one of my favorite things about this book is that whenever someone reads it, something in there, so one of the chapters, one of the stories reminds them of something from their own retail journey.
Mm-hmm.
And they call or text or email like, oh my God, I have to tell you. And it's like, yes, you do. Like, I love that. I love hearing people's stories. So I'm so happy that I got to write this book and get it out. And it was my first book, so it was a big deal for me to publish it. But I love that it makes people want to share their stories.
It really does. It really, and I had some pretty similar experiences when I was a young man the first jobs that I had, and even, not even when I was a younger man, sometimes I went back to working two jobs because life kind of took me down
Yeah.
a divorce. They say they're expensive because they're worth it, but while you're working, while you're working to pay for it, it's definitely a lesson in character for sure. But yeah, I mean, a lot of the same thing. People don't treat you like a person. I think you had mentioned having a cash register thrown at you
She
in the
tried. It was bolted
yeah,
down.
bolted down. But yeah, she went
Yeah.
for it. Yeah,
Mhm.
and the way people talk to you all the time. And it's just it really is dehumanizing. People really
Mhm.
don't even think of you as a person. They think of you as a machine, or somebody just to yell at.
Mhm.
You know, but yeah, and you went from food services all the way through your career in thrift stores, and that's something that seems to be kind of near and dear to you. Tell us a bit about how that's been for you. Working in
Oh,
thrift stores, and you're a big
absolutely.
believer in that too, right?
I absolutely am. So I'll be honest, I got my first job at a thrift store because I needed a job and they were hiring.
Mm-hmm.
It was that simple. I applied a bunch of different places. They were the first one that got back to me. But I am so lucky that I got to have that experience because the difference between shopping in a thrift store and working in a thrift store
Mm-hmm.
is very different. And just seeing the sheer amount of clothing that comes in made such an impression on me because thrift stores, on average, only put out between 10 and 15% of the donations that they receive. The rest goes somewhere else. And getting to see that process and be a part of that process made me really hate fast fashion. But to live in a country that has so much need and so much abundance, and to be a part of that bridge between them was really, really telling for me. And it's also where I got my fashion education. I mean, I say that I'm a fashion critic. I am an unqualified one. I don't have any sort of like legitimate education in fashion except for working in thrift stores, which it's kind of the difference between going to culinary school and cooking for 20 years. Like
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
one of you has a degree, one of you knows what you're doing.
Yeah. Right. 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 And the thing is that, and I think you and I are really both on the same page to where these stores make sense.
Mm,
Um, you know, and again, maybe, and this was probably this got instilled in each one of us, I think, different ways. I mean, the one thing that I had growing up were grandparents who lived through the Depression,
mhm,
and anything that could have been reused. If my grandfather took something apart, or my grandfathers both would always keep the old parts off of something that would break down, just in case they could fix it or need it. And they were really into fixing. They were really into reusing. Hand me downs was a big thing too, from child to child. You had three kids in the family. Well, they all wore those pants at one point, and with not having to, I think, use unnecessarily tap resources which you already have. I think it makes a lot of great sense. I mean, how about you? I mean, you have you spoke quite a bit about not only things like that, but the way these things really help people.
oh, absolutely. Whether it's a big chain that's nationwide or a smaller thrift store, almost all of them benefit some charity, and usually it's one right in your community.
Hmm.
And I'll tell you, the smallest thing can make a huge difference. I worked for a thrift store that had a voucher program where if you were struggling for whatever reason, you could come in, have $50 to buy what you needed clothing wise. And the difference it can make when someone who is homeless, is living unhoused, can walk into a job interview with new clothing that was recently cleaned.
Hmm. Yeah.
That's something that you and I take for granted.
Right. Right.
But the difference that can make in your confidence alone really matters. And so something that is just a small little community program that was started by a girl who said, "Hey, can we do this? We have extra pants," can really make a difference. And I love that this is a strong way to interact with your local community,
It
whether
really
you
is.
care about that or not.
Hmm. It really is. It really is. And and some of the other things too. I had worked in a couple of programs over the years. Did some training at some job centers for some people that had been they've been locked up for a number of years,
Mhm.
and they're trying to get them some skills, and then also help them with interviews, not only job skills but also interview skills, and and it was not only but they would have jackets and ties and shirts and things like that for them if they needed them, as well as other things too. Eventually some of them ended up getting cars. There was a couple of programs out there that had cars and things like that that were secondhand, obviously, but they would help people get their cars, get their licenses, and you know, it does do quite a bit of good in the community. I think it really
But you know,
does.
where you spend your money matters.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're shopping at a thrift store, you're not shopping at Shein or Temu.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Right,
something else that really matters.
right. Yeah, I know that's true. That's true. And um, yeah, and again, the ability, to use, using resources once again, and we had also kind of mentioned too places like Second Chance,
Mhm. Which,
where
if you have not been, I'm sorry, I'm stealing the show.
go
Go
for it.
to Second Chance immediately, just for the experience of walking around, even if you don't buy anything, the things
Hmm.
that you will see there. For anyone who does not know, Second Chance is a store in Baltimore that reclaims pieces from historic buildings that are being renovated.
Hmm.
And what you see there is insane and beautiful and
It
very,
is.
very varied.
It is. It really is. And the only bad part is it's just like a thrift store, though. If you don't get it when you see it,
Oh, it's
it's
gone.
gone.
There was a ship's like figurehead of a mermaid crashing
Hmm.
against the waves, and it's like, I don't have $1,500 in mermaid money, but I want that to come home with me.
Hmm. Right,
Because when else are you
right.
going to see that for sale in a store? Yeah.
Hmm. Right. And not only do they have just like a lot of practical odds and ends and things like
Mhm.
that, they really do have some beautiful pieces over there. Some and you can definitely tell, from these older houses, plaster work and very nice looking trim around doorways and doors that were, handcrafted from years ago that are really just nice, but just, the house for whatever reason isn't there anymore. And people are buying these things and using them to redecorate their houses. And then they also have a whole section too, not only the decorative things, but the materials. They
Mhm.
disassemble instead of just taking a wrecking ball and bam, they disassemble, save the lumber, flooring,
Just the
all
drawer
kinds of
pulls.
things.
The,
Yeah.
the the drawer pulls that you can get that are these vintage pieces you will never see again. It's incredible.
It is. It really is. And I definitely encourage people to do that. And I did it on a project, that I did for my wife. My wife is an actress as well,
Mhm.
and can't get her on the show, but whoever heard of a shy actress? But that's my wife. I love her to death, but
You
she's
know what
just,
though? If there's one actress who's going to say no to you, let it be that one.
exactly. But yeah, she was a I built her that real nice room from all these used things out there, and it really made something nice. So I do encourage people, any chance I get, to use these places here, because you really do find some nice stuff. And the thing is too is that, I mean, I see a lot of houses. I don't know. I mean, you drive around Baltimore a lot, I'm sure. Who is living in all these developments that are going up? A lot of them are half full, and I'm like, why are we building all these communities when people aren't even there? And I'm sure all the resources and everything that go into that, you know, um,
It
could,
it is very unfortunate that it is cheaper in most cases to build a new house than to renovate an existing one.
yeah, I guess that's
But
true. Yeah.
I want to give a quick shout out to Black Women Build. They are an organization that is renovating a
Uh-huh.
lot of these houses, and just teaching those skills to women in the community to build a community.
Hmm.
But
Right.
money is an object.
It is. It is. It is. But yeah. But I mean, if you can reuse something, and again, stop us from having to, chop down extra trees or do anything that would harm the
Absolutely.
environment, you may as well do it. If you have it. I mean, that's
Absolutely.
that's just that's just my head on this and everything. So great. So it really shows as I was reading your book again. I could really kind of see you growing up. You're taking on more responsibilities on your job. There was a section where you were talking about hiring people, firing people, clowns that came in for interviews, some of the mess that you had to deal with there. Let's talk a little bit about that too. I mean, I guess,
Rather not. I mean,
you know,
I was very scared when I first started hiring and firing people.
yeah, yeah.
I was still very young.
Hmm.
I was not very confident in my abilities as a leader at that point. I'm still not great at giving people bad news,
Hmm.
but you really see ridiculousness
Hmm.
when you go through the hiring process. And it's really unfortunate, but there are so many young people who just don't know what they're doing. And it's like, I like, let me teach a class. Let me teach a class on how to answer these questions because you are doing a bad job.
Yeah, yeah.
And a lot of it is from inexperience. Some of it is not. Like we had a guy who just was endlessly hitting on me and this other girl who were interviewing him, and it's like, buddy, this is not going great for you. Like I'm
Hmm.
I'm gonna be your boss if everything works out. So you're gonna want to stop. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I've I've had people come in. I've interviewed people in the past too. Not only for work, but I've auditioned people for my
Mhm.
troupe in the different projects I've had, and I've had people coming in, smelling of weed, reeking of booze,
Yeah.
and then just people come in and yeah, I mean, there are ways that you're supposed to handle auditions and things like that too, and yeah, they've learned none of that. Either that or they're just it's almost I almost feel like have you ever seen any of those clips of bad American Idol or X
Yes.
auditions?
A shameful amount, yes.
Yes, yes, yeah.
I
That
mean,
that's
I had a
yeah.
girl come in a bikini and say that her friends were waiting in the car because they were going to the shore. So could we speed this up? And it's like, this is not,
Yeah.
how did you see this going? Like,
I know, I know. I mean, and again, maybe again, older. Whenever I knew I had a job interview when I was younger, the first place I went was over to my grandfather's house. Get your shoes. We went down. He had a shine box, and he made those things shine like a mirror.
shine box, wow.
Yeah, I mean, he had that, and I mean, he had the towel. He's like, he was like a machine, man. He could make your shoes miraculously look brand new, even if they were, 5, 10 years old or whatever. And your tie, shirt and tie, um, jacket, not always, but shirt and tie. My father made sure of that.
Mhm.
And he would drill me, you know. Um, he would drill me on questions that people might ask. Um, all of that stuff. We were
If
prepared to go in.
if I can give one piece of advice, and
Hmm.
this is in the book, but I always told my girls when they were applying for other jobs, because I worked retail, I mostly worked with women.
Hmm.
Um, Look up the most recent lawsuits against that company
Hmm.
and bring up whatever the opposite is. So, for example, if you're applying to a Hollister, at the time that I was applying, it's like they had a lot of diversity issues. They were
Hmm.
accused of not hiring anyone diverse, of requiring Muslims to not wear their hijabs on staff. So it's like just bring up how much you love diversity.
Hmm.
Just bring it up. Just
Yeah.
how great diversity is, how you've gotten to work with such a diverse group of people, how you've learned so much from such a diverse staff, because HR will be telling managers, look for these buzzwords because we are all in trouble.
Hmm.
And time again, that's what got my girls hired.
Oh, that's good. That's a good call right there. Absolutely, absolutely. I'd never thought of that before, but that's yeah. I mean, you definitely want to do your homework, but I'd never thought to look at lawsuits or anything.
Oh
But
no,
yeah,
become the person they want to hire.
absolutely, absolutely. Well, that's great. That's great. And this is again, it's really an enjoyable book. And I kind of double dipped. You know, I read the book as well as listened to it. And I have to say, you do a great job of narrating your book. You did, you know, obviously you were the voice behind your audio book too, right?
Thank you so much. I
Mm-hmm.
honestly, it's my first audiobook. I've done 29 since.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the one with all the mistakes in it, but I think it's still a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, I mean you've got a great voice. And were you in a studio when you did it? Did you use your own equipment from your own home?
Oh, I was
Or
in
ha-
my closet.
okay, yeah, yeah, that's a lot of
Yeah.
people do that. That works well, you know. Another tip that I've come across is moving blankets are good too.
Yes.
Moving blankets work well with that too, and then you can get them for cheap. You don't have to have, you know, $1 million studio to make something sound good. I mean, a lot of the work that I get for voiceover is done. You're looking at it right here,
Yeah.
you know.
I will tell you right now, I have almost 3 million followers. I have around 30 audiobooks out. I've self-published 3 books. I
Hmm.
run whatnot shows. I am about to open an online thrift store. I do all of it from home. I
Hmm.
do almost all of it for free.
Yeah, yeah.
Technology has advanced to the point where if you want to get started on something and you have the drive to do it, you can do it. And I am so completely serious in saying that if you need help, I will help you with it. I am talking to your audience right now.
Hmm.
I have classes the fourth Thursday of every month on my Discord. You can email me anytime. Like, I want to help people succeed. I feel so lucky that I get to be a stay-at-home mom. I pick my daughter up every day from school
Hmm.
because I have been successful enough in social media and stay-at-home jobs.
Well, that's great. That's great. Um, you know that works well for a lot of people, I think, and I'm glad that you're able to do that nowadays,
Me too.
especially with the cost of daycare and stuff like that. I mean, my God, you end up selling a kidney to pay for that sometimes. It's
Mhm.
it's just crazy. It's just crazy. So you have a new book out too, and I read you had a couple of misadventures with the book, but you ended up signing a lot of other things besides the book I saw, huh?
So I had my first real book signing in a thrift store,
Uh-huh.
and the books did not arrive in time. So
Uh,
instead, I asked people to find the strangest thing they could in that thrift store, and I would sign that instead.
mhm.
And that was one of the most fun days I have had.
Well, you really made lemonade out of lemons, I tell you, you know.
It was a lot of fun.
That's great. That's great. And so it did turn out well then. He had a lot of fun with it. And
Oh, it was fantastic. It was, and again, I love thrift stores because it's an environment that no other retail place will ever have because
mhm.
everyone else has to plan their insanity. With the thrift store, it's real chaos.
You know, another thing too about thrift stores is that um, once in a while you really find something that's valuable.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
um, I was just again, you know, during my free time scrolling through, and it wasn't yours. It was another person that I came across, and they were just looking. You know, they have the different sections. She was looking down the dishes and kitchenware section,
Mhm.
and found the set of dishes that was I think it was like for $4 or something for these dishes, and they were like these antique, valuable. I mean, I wouldn't have known any better, but people that collect that kind of stuff, the lady ended up getting a lot of money for those.
Yeah.
She resold them. Sometimes people, I've even found some nice microphones. Um, some nice microphones, some nice electronic equipment, amplifiers, speakers, and things like that for a fraction of the price. I mean, I guess they just kind of take them in, make sure they're in good condition. They do a regular inspection to make sure it's fit to sell, and then put them out, I guess, with either knowing or not knowing how valuable it is.
It really depends on the person, and I can tell you a lot of work is done by volunteers.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you ever want a really good deal at a thrift store, just ask to volunteer.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I run a thrift business and I have found some insane treasures.
Right, right, right. Well, that's really cool. Again, yeah, I have too. I have too. And some great props and everything. Yeah, I've completely outfitted my murder mystery company with, and once in a while I have to order like my stage blood and stuff like that. I have to go to Amazon for, but
Yeah,
jackets,
don't get
yeah,
your blood from a thrift store. It's too authentic.
yeah. Jackets, props. I've even put together our death weapons. I was kind of telling you how we do our shows. We're not there are no subtle deaths in our shows. They're always big and over the top. And
No, I have to
I've
come see one. I'm such a theater kid. I'll love every part of that.
have you done do you have a back you have mentioned a little bit of a background in theater. I mean, did you continue with it? Did you just do it like in high school or something, or was that?
So I went to college. I went to college for theater. I graduated with a degree in drama.
Oh.
And right after college, I got a job working in a repertory theater
Hmm.
and realized that although I love theater, it is an extremely nomadic lifestyle.
Hmm. Yeah,
For the
it
most
is.
part, you are looking for a new job every 3 months.
Hmm.
If you're lucky enough to stay with one show, it will probably be a touring show, so you will be traveling.
Oh yeah.
And I like stability. I'm a nester. So
Right, 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 right.
I realized after getting a degree, thanks, Mom, that I didn't want to live that way.
Sure, sure. It's a tough life. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't just, if you're going to be out there, promoting whether it be music, if you're in a band or if you're in a theater group or whatever, you got to get the word out and you got to
Yep.
travel a bit, you know.
And you
Yeah,
have to get ready to face a whole world of rejection.
oh yes, yeah, the rejection. I could say rejection's my middle name, but I think it's
Yeah,
a little more than that, but there's an upside to it too, of course.
absolutely. Yeah.
Definitely an upside to it. It's when you score something. And which kind of leads me to another question I wanted to ask you too. Uh, and I'll kind of tell you why I'm going there. One of the first and biggest gigs I ever got, with my manager was the show Gotham, and it's the people that follow Gotham. It's like a religion. It's a DC Comics franchise, and it's like Trekkies, Star Trek people, and there's a lot of other ones too. I mean, you go to the cons and everything, and you see people that are fans of this, that, and the other thing, and it's like a religion to them, and they
Yep.
know everything about it.
Yep.
And I had a couple of people. I was only on one episode of Gotham, and it was the last one they filmed.
Mhm.
And it was the third last to air. But once I did it and everything, I was just looking on social media, and a number of people, poor Dale, he got shot, and people were drawing pictures of me like from the show, and posting them, and I was like, thank you, hey, this is awesome, and the other day I saw somebody paid a nice little homage to you.
Where are we going with this? Oh no, I'm scared.
With Barbie dolls. You remember the
Oh,
girls with
okay.
Barbie dolls?
Yeah. So Mia is a very sweet 11-year-old girl who plays the fashion game with her Barbies.
Yes.
And her mom sent me a clip she had made of the fashion game.
Hmm.
And of course, I asked her permission before posting it, but I can't explain to you what that meant to me. But I'm so happy that the joy that it made me feel
Hmm.
seems to have translated to other people as well.
It's a good feeling, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it really is a good feeling when somebody likes your work that much, they're willing to show you that appreciation,
Yeah.
in their own different ways too, whether they are, supporting what you do, spending money coming out to see your shows or doing things like that. I mean,
Yeah.
that had to have been, I mean, I could just imagine. I mean, you look I could tell you were very moved and touched by that, very flattered to see that. in the way you were talking during that clip.
But it also, when it's a child, because like I have a 7-year-old daughter.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I once put my hair up in what I thought was an attractive way, and she looked at me and said, "Mommy, no." Like children are honest.
They are. They are.
So, I know that like Mia did not do that to get my attention, to try to she was playing because
Hmm.
that's how she felt.
Right, right,
And
right.
so it's an honor.
Hmm.
It's truly an honor.
Right, right. It is. It really is. When I saw people, drawing pictures of me, and some of them not only they were hand drawn and they just scanned them and they posted them, but then there was a couple of other ones that actually took. I don't know what it was. I mean, this was 2018, so I don't know if it was AI or what, but they did some artwork of me, and then I got a lot of things from I got a lot of attention from being the JG Wentworth Viking too on the 877 Cash Now commercials. I was the Viking on the bus.
Didn't know I was in the presence of a celebrity. Oh my God, Darcy. Okay, that's where I know you from. Oh my God. You look so familiar. We've been talking for like an hour. Oh my God. You look so familiar.
877 Cash Now. That's me.
Oh my God.
I could
Ooh,
tell you some
okay.
stories about that shoot too. First of all, I did make some great friends on that shoot. It was just a 1 day shoot, Stamford, Connecticut, and we were on the bus driving through Stamford, Connecticut. Now, one thing that was kind of tough about it is that I'm 6'6". Okay, so when I stand straight up and down, I'm the exact height of the inside of a bus. Like, all right. And the helmet, the plastic helmet,
I'm
which
sorry.
I
I have to
still
Google
have in
you
my
immediately. You carry on.
um, the plastic helmet that I had on had 8-inch horns. And then there was also lighting and stuff attached up in the ceiling of the bus. So I had to walk hunched over anyway. And as we're riding around town and playing that song all day, um, I had to sit in the back. I had to stand like in the rear stairs and then kind of come in for my shot. And I had to like step back around this girl and then come in and lip sync my part. Okay. But with the bus bouncing around and going around corners and things like that, it was, I was like half losing my balance and everything. And in order to make, I mean, to make a long story short, it was a buns of steel workout. You know, and every once in a while I still get people coming up and they say, "Hey, I was at a bull roast one time." Only people from Baltimore know what those are too. I was eating, I had some oysters, I had some beef. I'm there eating. These guys come over there. I told you that was him, and I was like, I thought I was going to get jumped or something. I was like, what's going on here? They're like, "You're that Viking. You're that guy. You're that guy, the Viking on the commercial." I said, "Oh yeah, yeah, that's me. That's me. Hi, how you doing?" There was another time when I was a different character. We were actually doing Polar Express on the train, and I was a hobo. I was, the hobo from the story.
Mhm.
And I had, I was dirty. I had my hobo stuff on, and I went over to this table and I was talking to the kids. And then the father looked at me and goes, "You that Viking off of that commercial?" And I was like, "Yep, that's me. Yeah. But right now, the hobo." So yeah, yeah, that's gotten me quite a few laughs over the years and a couple of definitely interesting situations and everything. I've had a lot of fun with it, you know.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
that was January of 2019 we filmed it. Yeah. And it was a great time too. And a lot of the people that were on the bus are, other actors. You've seen them in sitcoms. They've done Broadway and a couple of other things, and a good 3 or 4 of us keep in touch to this day, just, whether it be just, not like completely hanging out, going out to dinner and stuff, but at least, liking each other's Facebook stuff, texting each other once in a while, happy birthday. And you really do make some good friends in this business.
I'll tell you, it's the strangest thing, but some of my biggest supporters are people I will never meet in real life.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe not even in this country. Some of them I don't even know their real names, but they have shown up and supported me in ways I never would have anticipated.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So it looks like too that you do a podcast or some sort of a show too,
Mhm.
with another lady. Did you want to talk about that today?
Sure. So
Okay.
that is Chicks with Fix. And
Okay.
that is a podcast that came out of getting my nails done every two
Uh-huh.
weeks. So the nail tech, Sarah, we became friends and we just said like we should do a podcast. And I said, "Well, what would we do a podcast about?" And she said the only thing we ever talk about, sex. So like we are both gigantic nerds.
Hmm.
And so every week we pick a different fandom, Firefly, Star Trek, what have you, and just essentially play smash or pass on the main characters from that show. And it's real dumb and just real fun. And it's such an excuse to just get to nerd out
Hmm.
and talk about this universe that we absolutely love. So like
Right,
every
right.
week I get to watch something like Hellboy, Lord of the Rings, Die Hard, and
Yeah.
just research how this thing came into being. And, to know that like there was alternate casting for different roles. Because like thinking about Gandalf played by Nick Cage, I'll just wake up laughing sometimes. Like, so it's just a very silly little show that we so enjoy getting to do.
Right, right. It looks like you're really having fun with it and everything. And so, oh, good for you. And what's it called again? Well, I'll put all this
Oh,
information in
thank
the
you.
show notes as well.
Thank
Um,
Chicks with Fix.
Chicks. Okay, with you said
And
fic.
fix as in like fictional universes.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. I will make sure we put this in our show notes
Thank
and
you.
we'll everybody you'll all know where to find it, folks. You all know where to find it. I mean, and you shouldn't have any problems finding Maggie. I mean, I don't think you can shake a stick without finding her somewhere on Facebook or any of the other ones, with
I'm
all the
trying.
content you post. Yeah, I mean, and how often do you post?
3 times a day, every day.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought because yeah, that's a lot of posting, but it's all good stuff. It's all good stuff. And I like I really like the humor behind it, especially the things that, again, we were kind of talking earlier about some of the things that people with more money than sense buy. These expensive clothes. We were talked a little bit about the ripped denim thing. You know,
My favorite, one of my favorites, is $105,000 for a Louis Vuitton punching bag.
yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're just gonna punch it. I mean, for crying out loud. Dang. You get one for $5 at a thrift store,
Eh.
right? May
That's
not be
that's where
Louis
it's like, give
Vuitton.
give me the money. I guarantee I can do something better with
Yeah.
it.
I when you post these things, and again, I've heard of these things for a long time. I'm just constantly wondering who's the customer base for
Mhm.
these things, and one thing that I was thinking of, and I don't think I mentioned this before we hit record, but a number of years ago when the Ravens won the Super Bowl the first time back in like 2000, a number of them went to the White House with t-shirts on, the ripped jeans, and people are like, come on, man, it's the White House, what are you doing? Put on a jacket and a tie at least. But these were $500 t-shirts and $1,000 ripped jeans, and you know a lot really goes into that. But I think, I mean, now maybe you would know about this.
Mhm.
I mean, is there any difference between a $1,500 polo shirt and I have a Champion polo shirt on now?
Oh yeah, of course. One says Gucci.
Okay, and that's the only difference. I mean,
I mean,
it's
I'll tell you there's going to be a little bit of a difference but not for the most part. An expose just came out in Italy, where they were making designer handbags that they start at $2,700. They found out the cost to make them is $53.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm sure it is. I mean, I'm sure they're making a mint off of every one of them.
I mean, they would like to tell you that they use luxury ingredients and they are handcrafted by artisans.
Hmm.
But I'll tell you, if that's what you believe, go on Dior's site right now. Go on
Hmm.
Gucci, go on Prada, go on Louis Vuitton, Balenciaga, whatever it is, and see how long it takes you to find something that's 100% cotton or 100% linen.
Right. 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 That's what I was just wondering. I mean, are these like just more? Is this obviously like the style of the shirt, the type of the shirt, but is it made out of some just fancy material that costs that much, or is it just a name that's slapped on?
It's just a name. And the
Wow.
unfortunate part is you would think that because something has a label made in France, made in Italy, you picture an
Hmm.
artisan hand stitching something. In
Hmm.
order to have that tag, made in France, made in Italy, as a luxury brand, the only thing that is required is that the last step is performed in that country. So a
Oh,
bag can be sewn 98% in China, sent to France, where they put a zipper into it, and now it's a made in France bag.
okay, okay. And something else that came to mind too is that a number of years ago I'd seen a documentary on it was on ESPN called Broke,
Mm,
and it was about these athletes that make millions upon millions of dollars during their playing careers, and then 5 years later it's all gone.
hmm
And a lot of it, a lot of that money is at the strip club. A lot of it is spent at, just buying cars and supporting people. And I'd be willing to bet a lot of that money probably gets blown on these unnecessarily highly priced clothes.
I saw that documentary too. The NBA now teaches financial literacy
Yeah,
classes
yeah.
to
NFL does too.
incoming
Yeah.
players
Hmm.
because so many of them go broke their first year
Yeah.
because they suddenly have money.
Right. 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 It is. And, when you're, and it's got to, I mean, it's got to be a step up. I mean, if you consider where some of these guys came from,
Mm.
very, very, poor, areas. And then all of a sudden, all this money comes in. And not only that, being young guys, here come the girls. And,
Well, but it's
you
also
know,
who you have to keep up with.
yeah, right,
You
right,
you
right,
can't drive a Honda and park next to Tom Brady.
right, right. Well, some people do, but it's rare. It's rare.
I
And
mean,
people,
you should, but I
yeah,
understand there's pressure
yeah,
to it.
yeah,
I love
yeah,
that everybody buys a house for their mom, though. Like that's the
yeah.
first thing they do.
That really is. That really is. Well, what I would like to do is, let's see. I know we got a little bit of time left here. Was there anything that you have coming up that you'd like to plug or promote? This is I normally like to put in, towards the end, the shameless plug portion of the evening where you can shamelessly plug anything you'd like to shamelessly plug. No shamelessness spared and all shamelessness encouraged. So go for it and take your time too.
So
Tell us.
I'm not sure how quickly this is coming out, but on the 28th, I will be doing a book signing at Games and Stuff in Glen Burnie, Maryland.
Okay.
There will be books at this one. That'll be a fun new feature to my book signings.
Okay. And what's
Uh,
it called? The store. I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
it's
What's
Games and Stuff.
games and stuff?
Mhm.
Okay.
And in August, I will be at the Key City Steampunk Convention. And then
Yeah.
in the winter, I will be at the Ocean City Comic Con.
Oh, okay. Ocean City. When's that?
I don't know. Don't tell them. Let me look it up.
Okay.
I feel really bad.
Well,
Hold
if you want to see Maggie at the Ocean City Comic Con, look it up.
on. Do some work yourselves.
Yeah, this is the internet, people. Come on.
It will obviously be December 12th through 13th. Duh.
12th and 13th. Obviously, of course. Why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't it be?
I do
And
everything for these people.
yeah, and the and the Key City Steampunk, where's that? I'm making you work here. I'm sorry.
Well, no, because it's either in Harrisburg or Pittsburgh, but you have to understand every instinct that I have is wrong. So if I say one thing, it is the opposite.
Right, right, right.
I just misspelled both steam and punk. Hold on. In Pittsburgh. Wait,
Oh, it is Pittsburgh.
wait, wait,
Okay.
wait. Gettysburg. I was wrong about it.
Gettysburg. That's right.
So August 7th and 9th, the Key City Steampunk Convention in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. I've been talking to them for a few months now. I'm really excited about that one.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, Gettysburg's great. It's a fun, even outside. I'm sure there's plenty of things to do up there. And
I love steampunk people though. There is such passion
yes, there
for
is.
steampunk. I mean,
Hmm.
it's a special subset of sci-fi.
It really
It's
is.
like you take the nerds and you distill them into further nerds. It's a good group.
Mhm. Right, right. So, talking about being a nerd too.
Mhm.
What are the biggest things you? I'll tell you. If you tell me the biggest things you geek on, I'll tell you the things I geek on.
Um, one of my biggest, apart from Star Trek, because that's
Hmm.
just a given, is Firefly.
I've heard
I
of it. Yeah, fine. Right, right, right.
Did you say you've heard of it as though you haven't seen every episode in the movie and you're following the new series that's going to come out? Because we're going to fight in a minute if that's the case.
Well, yeah, uh-huh.
Okay, so no, because it's one of those shows where, like, as you were saying before, it's almost like a religion, where
Yeah.
it's like I can talk another 45 minutes if you would like me to. Like, I
Please,
I,
I'm
I
good.
love it
I'm
so
glad.
much.
Yeah, yeah.
And I just found out earlier this week that one of the actors on the show now follows me. So the idea that someone that I grew up watching like knows that I exist,
Hmm.
just every once in a while, I'll just do a little happy dance.
Yeah, that's
He knows
cool.
I'm alive. But yeah, that's one of the biggest ones for me. And then I also love video games.
Okay.
So I would love to cosplay Aloy from Horizon Zero Dawn one day.
Mm.
That's a big goal because there's a lot of work involved, but I'm learning how to make clothing for many reasons. One of them is I would really love to get into cosplay in a way that is not ordering a costume from Amazon.
Mm. Okay. Yeah. I got a lot of people would ask me after I filmed Gotham if
Mm.
I was into cosplay and stuff like that, and I'm like, no, I was like, I had to ask actually one of the other actors, what's cosplay? And they're like, it was like, I mean, I could do Cosby impressions, but oh yes, anyway, but I
For
want
me,
that.
it's chasing the passion. I
Yes,
love
yeah.
talking to people who are excited about something that they do.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're at a sci-fi convention or a Comic-Con, it's almost like being 5 years old again and
Yeah,
being on the
yeah.
playground and being like, "Do you like the swings? I like the swings. Let's be friends." Like
Mm-hmm.
that's what it feels like. We're
Right,
just like,
right.
"Hey, we both love this thing. Let's
Mm-hmm.
talk about it." Like there's just a joy that you get
Right.
to feel.
I went to I've only been to a couple of those. I went to one. We did a murder. We got booked to do a murder mystery at one last year. It was one that was it's the group is called Scares That Care, and that's a group that a bunch of horror movie enthusiasts have come together and they raise money. They adopt like three families a year, and they get together and they raise money to help somebody who has had like a lot of times, like if the children get burned or if they're in a catastrophic, like a horrible car accident
Mhm.
or cancer, something that's just devastating. They raise money. They pick three families a year and they help them. And they had an author con where they had a lot of people that write sci-fi books, and I got to meet Vincent Price's daughter um, at one of those too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah, and so that was a lot of fun. She was great, Victoria Price, very nice lady indeed. So the things I geek on, um, a lot of people were Star Trek, which is great. That's all cool. I was always a Twilight Zone guy, and not the later ones,
Yeah.
Sterling only.
Yeah.
Sterling only. It's something about doing that show in color that just loses a lot, you know. And then um, the all the old Planet of the Apes. Those are my. I love those. You know. Those are the ones I like. The newer ones are pretty good too. You know, I don't have anything against the newer ones, but the older ones from the '60s and early '70s, I used to love those as
Since
a
we're
kid.
going a ways back, no one has ever seen it except me, but Alfred Hitchcock Presents, like the Alfred Hitchcock.
Yes, yes.
I was a weird kid, and
Mm-hmm.
my dad went, sorry, my dog is immediately behind the camera telling me that I spent too long not paying attention to her. But my dad was absolutely a cinema person. So
Mm-hmm.
he raised us on movies like that. Like I first watched Psycho when I was like 4, like at an inappropriate age. But that is a show that I will watch at any time
Mm-hmm.
with anyone for any reason.
Right.
And I so appreciate a time before they could just have AI and computers do everything
Mm-hmm.
because the entire show it's actors in a room acting and we
Yeah.
don't get to see that very much anymore.
Not so much. No. No. Yeah. That's and that's a whole other episode right there. AI. It's here. There are actual actors with agents that are nothing more than AI entities out there now. And honestly, I watch, shows and I've seen a couple of things where, I don't know the actor, but I'm like, wait a minute, those eyes look fake, you could definitely tell there's something off about them, and it really is a shame. It really is a shame that it's come to that now, you know. It's come to that. But here we are, I guess. I guess we just got to kind of do the best with what the industry has in store for us, and just keep chugging along the best we can.
I mean, people ask me if I'm worried about my job as an audiobook narrator.
Mm-hmm.
No, because
No,
you
no.
can hear that it's not a human.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
5 years from now, yeah, probably I won't have a job, but not today.
Mm-hmm.
Not today.
You're right about that because when we were driving home from Cumberland, we have like a 3-hour drive, and Mr. Ballin, I don't know if you like him or not. He does a lot of true crime and paranormal episodes and things like that. Um, and we listen to him quite a bit. Um, but there's times when people take his episodes and they make them AI,
Hmm.
or they use an AI voice, and it's like torture to listen to it. I'd rather hear a person, read something with feeling and emotion, and it's just not that monotone computer driven voice that mispronounces half the words. And yeah, so I mean that's the thing. You're going to get quality. You're going to have quality issues with that, I think. For as long as it's out there and everything.
Well,
So
I'm also happy. I can tell you, I just last weekend was at the Baltimore Oddities and Curiosities Expo.
yeah,
And there were so many just anti-AI signs everywhere because it's different when a human makes art
it
versus
is.
when you
It
tell
is.
a computer make something spooky.
Mm-hmm. Right, right, right. Yeah, you're right about that. You're right about that. A lot of people are, and there's a lot of other reasons, not just besides the production or what it is you're producing. It's it's the things that we just talked about. Um, the things that we just talked about, and I kind of lost my train of thought here, but yeah, it's that kind of thing.
No, you can tell when a
Yeah,
human made something versus when a
yeah,
soulless computer made it.
right,
Except
right.
Borderlands. That was made by humans, the movie, and it seems like it was made by a soulless computer.
I know, I know. Yeah. So I guess there's pros and cons with it and everything, but I can just see there's a lot of other things too about these. There's a lot of debate right now. Not too far from where I live, there was a big debate about whether to build one of those centers or
Data
not.
centers.
Yeah. It was actually in Harford County, not out near me. But yeah, it's a big thing. There's a whole lot of moving parts with these decisions and everything. And I just hope it doesn't turn out to be a mistake. Whatever we end up deciding doesn't turn out to be a mistake that we can't recover from,
I mean, I can tell you the goal of my channel, what I always say is better, not perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Because should any of us be shopping at Shein or Temu? No, of course not. Should any of us be shopping with Amazon? No, of course not. Do we? Yes, of course. You're not going to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
We have to do the best we can. And along those veins, I do think AI is here. Companies are not going to stop using it.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to figure out how to use it responsibly and ethically.
Yeah. You just can't use it to be lazy when it comes to, I mean, there was a case, I read an article the other week where I think a law firm just used AI and they gave somebody legal advice. Did you hear about that?
Oh, yeah.
And it was wrong.
They made it up. The
Yeah.
AI just made up cases that didn't exist.
Yeah. And it was, they gave somebody, and just imagine if that was, no matter how newfangled this technology gets to be, the one thing that's going to remain true is garbage in, garbage out, and that's not something we're ever going to escape from, I think, So, anyhow, on a more lighthearted note, you've got Chicks with Fix. You've got your book signings coming up, which we will put in the show notes. Is there anything else you'd like to tell us while we're here?
Oh, I should have anticipated that question. I really want to thank everyone who chooses to spend their time with me. You can find me on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, whatnot, all over Amazon for the books that I've written and the books that I have voiced for audiobooks. But really, I am incredibly lucky to get to be a work from home parent. And I absolutely know that's based on everyone who chooses to spend their time with me. And especially to the people who send me gifts or send me content potential. It's I have a very amazing life right now. And that's because each and every one of you choose to allow me into your lives. So thank you.
Well, great. Well, great. Well, like I said, and looking at it, I always thought, the clips that you had up were very funny. I enjoyed watching them. I like having you in my feed and everything. I really enjoyed your book.
Thank you.
And I was glad to have you on. And like I had mentioned too, my wife is now reading it too.
Yeah.
So, your stuff's getting around, Maggie, and everything. And it's been a pleasure having you today. And I really appreciate you being willing to take the time to talk to me.
Absolutely.
Again, I hope things really work out. I hope you have a very fruitful and, your book signings and everything coming up go well, and continue, with your viewers and listeners, and get out there and sell some books, huh?
Yeah, go buy things, everyone.
Yep. There we are. So, folks, we've had Maggie Weber, the Refashioned Hippie, and all of her links will be in the show notes where you can find out all about her. And we'll see you all next time, folks. Thanks again for joining us. And thanks again to Maggie Weber for being on.
Thank you so much.
And we'll see you next time. Hey, folks, Michael Spedden here, and thanks for listening to our episode today with Maggie Weber, the Refashioned Hippie. I had a great time talking to her, and the links to all of her stuff, her websites, her podcast, Chicks with Fix. We also have a number of her book signings coming up. All of these links will be listed in the show notes. And I really enjoyed talking to her. Her book, this is just one of her books. She has 3 of them out now. Why I Hate Everything. I just read this and listened to it. It's available on audio as well. And I had it's a fun listen. Talks a lot about her, again, work history from the time she was a teenager to being a young woman in the workforce. And it's a great read, and I think you'll enjoy it. So, again, thanks for tuning in. Remember, hit that like and subscribe button. And check us out, like and subscribe, tell a friend, and we'll see you all next time, folks. This is Michael Spedden signing off.